today's discussion. So today we will be discussing a case titled The Case of a Broken Community. So firstly, I would like to introduce my two very intellectual philosophers, Chelsea Weiss Go and Rod Michael Pan. So I will now be giving a brief summary of our case. The situation is a community that was once at peace is now experiencing increased conflict among the residents. Examples include bad educational performance among the youth, as well as increased cases of minor crimes. So, along with the situation, I will now be asking 3 questions to our fellow philosophers over here.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Question number 1. How are the issues in said situation connected to each other? How do they correlate with each other?
Well, in my personal opinion, there are 3 issues going on. Right? So there's the issue of academic performance, the issue of petty crime, and the issue of conflict between residents. So first off, let's start with the low academic performing youth. So wouldn't you say youths that don't perform academically usually are not disciplined and don't perform well in school because of that? So it's either because of a lack of discipline or a problem within the school system itself, which is causing them to have low academic standards. So this issue could also be connected to the petty crime, minor crimes going on in the community, correct? So as you know, minor petty crime in communities are usually conducted or caused by youths who are rebellious, would you say, or undisciplined. So perhaps those ideas may be connected. Maybe because of their lack of discipline at home and at school may lead to them thinking of doing acts such as vandalism or theft just to fill their days. And also that issue may be connected to why the residents in the community are conflicting with each other. Because imagine if I had a son who got robbed, and I would also blame other residents because their son is probably the person. And that's how it is.
Those are good ones. That's such an interesting topic because I agree with everything you say.
We should move on to the...
Yeah, we should move on. Wait, do you have any more questions for us, Victoria?
Thank you for your very detailed points. Moving on to the second question. What larger systems influence this situation?
For me, it would be about education, government, and economy. It would all correlate with each other, considering that if the students aren't guided or are taking their thing in their home, they would reflect it because kids would learn from their parents, so they would reflect it onto their education. They would bully, they would commit foul acts in the school, which in turn they would which would cause petty crimes into their community. They would go out in gangs to, like as Victoria stated, petty crimes, vandalism, which in turn would in fact affect the community and would aggravate the parents and the residents. They would blame the other parents who did not guide the children.
I like that. That really ties in all the big ideas that we have, and all those ideas are interconnected.
They really are interconnected.
That was a very insightful answer. Much philosophy done. moving on to the third and final question. What would you say is a unified solution that addresses everything and absolutely everything in the situation?
Would you like to go first or-
No, I would like to hear it first.
So personally, I think it all starts in the home. So we would like just teach the kids basic values, teaching them what's right and what's wrong, and us as for the residents as well. Do not fight in front of the kids and teach them these acts, because they will learn from this and they will reflect onto their community. They will teach other kids, we will teach other kids. It's just a cycle which will start. We have to take accountability and we have to stop it ourselves before it gets worse. How about you, Chelsea? You have anything to add?
I have something to add. Because I agree with that, but also we should also be looking at these bigger pictures, like you said, as a whole, like education, community, and government. We should all be looking to improve those areas individually in order to improve the community as a whole. Education, like you said, we should educate the kids, and not only that, but also improve the school system within the growing community in this case. And for government, I feel like the community leaders themselves should be taking a stand and also taking actions to improve the state of the community.
So for our lovely audience, could you please provide a very short summary of your unified solution for these issues?
Why don't you give one and then?
Okay, so basically, for me personally, I think it's just to give insight on the residents as well. It's just to show them that there is right and wrong, because it all starts from the home. As I've stated before, our children are the future. So we need to teach them from a young age, so when they grow up, they can give back to the community, in which turn they will improve the community and just make it an overall better world for everybody.
So I personally don't have kids, but I am about it and I have knowledge about it. And as their child, I would want to teach them to have knowledge system. And therefore, I need to have a good education and know what's right and wrong in order to not only not disappoint my family, but also to protect my community. And not only that, to make a bigger impact towards the betterness. So, from the questions you asked, from a philosophical standpoint, I think we should be looking at these problems as individual bubbles, and we should try to find solutions to each of them in order to fix the whole problem that we see in the community, which is the broken piece. What's the name of it? The case of the broken. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, philosophers Chelsea Westdo and Michael Tan,
Yeah,
for beautifully answering my questions, very flawless, insightful answers. And thank you everyone for listening and